Welcome to our channel Fractustv. For many thousands of years, people have been creating cities and towns in which to live. Every city in the world has a story to unfold. They have an intriguing history and beautiful architecture, and showcase the imprints of evolving human civilization. Most of the ancient cities in the world have stood the test of time apart from human invasions and geographical calamities. So let's take a look at the oldest cities in the world that are still thriving today. Let's start with the fifth place, Athens, a historic city and the capital of Greece. Many of classical civilization's intellectual and artistic ideas originated there. This city is also an ancient home of philosophy and the birthplace of Western civilizations. Athens is named after Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom and war, and daughter of Zeus. According to Greek mythology, Fractustv, who was half man and half serpent, founded Athens and became the first king. Athens has been continuously inhabited for at least 7,000 years. By 1400 before Christ, the settlement had become an important center of the Mycenaean civilization, and the Acropolis was the site of a major Mycenaean fortress, whose remains can be recognized from sections of the characteristic Cyclopean walls. Its cultural achievements during the 5th century before Christ laid the foundations of Western civilization. Its infrastructure is an exemplar of the ancient Greek infrastructure. The city withstood the test of time and was a subject of complete destruction following the Dorian and Persian invasions. Today, Athens is a sprawling metropolis and the oldest capital city in Europe. Argos is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Once the most powerful city in ancient Greece, Argos has been inhabited continuously for around 7,000 years. In the late Bronze Age, it was a major Mycenaean stronghold and featured prominently in Homer's Iliad. Argos reached its height in the 7th century before Christ when it dominated other cities in the Peloponnese and even took over hosting the biennial Pan-Hellenic Games. The ancients believed Argos to have been named after Argus Panoptes, all-seeing, a many-eyed giant in Greek mythology. Argus was the servant of the goddess Hera, and Homer described Argos as being sacred to Hera. Argos was also believed to be the birthplace of Perseus, the son of Zeus, and Danae, daughter of Acrisius, king of Argos. Argos was famous for its horses. One of the legends of Argos was that of the famous Medusa slayer Perseus, who flew on the winged horse Pegasus in his defeat of a sea monster. Argos hosts around 22,000 residents today, and numerous ancient monuments can be found here. Located around 42 kilometers north of Beirut, Byblos is the oldest and the largest city in Mount Lebanon. It is believed that Byblos was first occupied by humans between 8,800 and 7,000 before Christ and has been inhabited since 5,000 before Christ. The first import of papyrus in Greece took place in this city. This city is also an archaeological wonder because of the successive layers of debris resulting from centuries of human habitation. Byblos was the first city built by the Phoenicians. A wealthy colony, Byblos plied its trade from the sea through fishing, shipping, and trade. Many Egyptian artifacts have been found around Byblos, so historians believe Byblos maintained a healthy trade relationship with Egypt. Archaeologists have also found artifacts dating to 1200 before Christ, which show the existence of a 22-character alphabet used by the Phoenicians at the time. From the early 1500s until 1918, Byblos was part of the Ottoman Empire. From 1920 until 1943, Byblos was under French mandate, and finally in 1943, Lebanon and Byblos achieved independence. A trip to Byblos is a trip back in time through 7,000 years of history. It is a progressive city that embraces its cultural history. Tourism is now one of the major industries for this ancient port, and Byblos is re-emerging as a premier Mediterranean destination. Byblos is listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Aleppo is the principal city of northern Syria. It is situated in the northwestern part of the country, about 30 miles south of the Turkish border. It has been continuously inhabited for more than 8,000 years. It is a fact that the remnants date back to 11,000 before Christ. Excavations at Tel Asada and Tel al-Ansari, just south of the old city of Aleppo, show that the area was occupied by Amorites by the latter part of the 3rd millennium before Christ. That is also the time at which Aleppo is first mentioned in cuneiform tablets unearthed in Ebla in Mesopotamia, which speak of it as part of the Amorite state of Yamhad and note its commercial and military importance. The exact age of Aleppo is unknown, although it is thought to be among the world's oldest continuously inhabited cities. The first settlers are believed to have built homes on the hill at the center of the modern city, taking advantage of the area's natural defensive advantages, fertile agricultural land, and proximity to a water source, the Quwik River. However, the continuous occupation of the site to the present day has made the search for archaeological evidence of the site's earliest history difficult. Aleppo remains a center of traditional Arab poetry, music, cuisine, and handicrafts. For centuries, Aleppo was the largest city in the Syrian region and the Ottoman Empire's 3rd largest after Constantinople, now Istanbul and Cairo. The city's significance in history has been its location at one end of the Silk Road, which passed through Central Asia and Mesopotamia. Aleppo is actually located between the Mediterranean Sea and Mesopotamia, and due to its geographical location, it became an important trading hub during the ancient era. However, due to warfare between the government and rebel forces that have killed thousands and forced many to flee from their homes, Aleppo has been facing devastation since 2012. The old city of Aleppo was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1986. Damascus, Arabic Damashq, city, capital of Syria. Located in the southwestern corner of the country, it has been called the Pearl of the East, praised for its beauty and lushness. Damascus is the oldest inhabited city in the world and has seen many of the great civilizations rise and fall. According to research studies and historical evidence, Damascus was first inhabited in the 2nd half of the 7th millennium before Christ. It is the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world and is a prominent cultural center of the Arab world. Excavations at Tel Ramad on the outskirts of the city have demonstrated that Damascus was inhabited as early as 8,000 to 10,000 before Christ. Damascus was an active commercial center in the 2nd millennium BC and developed through different stages of urbanization thereafter, reaching its zenith at the beginning of the 7th century when it became the capital of the Umayyad Empire. The heart of Damascus's old city, which contains most of the city's historical monuments, is Hellenistic in origin, with significant Roman additions and modifications. Today, it is the seat of the central government of Syria. As of June 2023, Damascus was named the least livable city out of 173 global cities in the Global Livability Ranking. Travelers to Damascus have been struck by the sight of aspens and poplars growing along streams, and of olive groves and vegetable gardens. A popular story about the Prophet Muhammad's journey to Syria recounts that upon seeing verdant Damascus, he refused to go in, as a man should only enter paradise once. While the accelerated and often disordered growth of the city since World War II has sharply raised the ratio of buildings to trees and open space, Damascus still enjoys some of the former splendor of Al Ghouta, the fertile belt of irrigated land adjacent to the city. Today, Damascus is a metropolitan area with more than 2 million population and was named the Arab Capital of Culture in 2008. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel for more interesting facts.